Hello, folks. Welcome to Blowin'Smoke with AJ Gaynor. I appreciate you being here. Sorry it's been as long as it's been, but it's important for me to put a podcast out for you that I believe in, instead of just providing something every few days. I want to give you something that matters when it happens. So I appreciate you being here, and I appreciate your patience, and I appreciate you sharing it. If you've got friends who are podcast buffs, podcast listeners, throw it at them. Don't have to be a musician, right? I don't think so. Might help if you are. No, that's not fair. Just sometimes I do get a little inside baseball on music. So welcome this week. Find me on Facebook, AJ Gaynor. Find me on Twitter, at AJ Blowin'Smoke. I would love to hear from you. Rebuttals, ideas, questions. If you have music you want to submit, if you'd like for me to play one of your tunes. I'm not going to play anything. I'm not going to play everything. I'll play stuff that's good. The stuff that I've been playing, a lot of it's like 25, 26 years old, and it is what it is. If it's good, I'll play it. I would prefer the highest possible, quality recording possible, but there again, if it's good, and someone can tell that it's good by listening to it, it's got its opportunity. Get 2 songs an episode, and in the future maybe more as it grows. So yeah, find it on Facebook, Twitter, whatever, and let me know. Or if you want to give me permission to use your already published stuff, that'd be awesome. There's so much good stuff out there, and I can find some spots for it. This week, tough subject, and I'll start with this. Bruce Springsteen, Bryan Adams, PayPal, Michael Moore, Sharon Stone, Cirque du Soleil, to name a few. You're wrong. And you've actually kind of made fools of yourselves. You've shown that you didn't really think very deeply about what was going on here, that you simply had an emotional reaction, you believed the hype, and you chose a side before you looked at the two, before you really looked at the battle, and what was going on, what the realities were. And maybe some of you out there are going, AJ, what? How can you? What? Come on. Come on. Well, I think that it's all been turned on its head. I think that the whole argument, the whole notion, the interpretation of the law, everything has been turned on its head, at least in the North Carolina stuff. The transgender bathroom stuff, you can look at that however you like. That's maybe another part of this we can get to in a few minutes. The law that I'm talking about that gives people the ability to refuse to do business with people they don't want to do business with for any reason is a very necessary and important thing. It's part of being a free person. You nor me nor anyone else should ever be forced to do something for anyone else, period. Whether we're a business owner or not, but especially if we're a business owner. And you may have seen the memes, maybe you think it's a silly or cliched or pandering kind of argument, but this seems to be about Christians not providing a service to homosexual couples. Pretty much. That's the basic notion that this gets put forth, is that this is a discrimination against the homosexual community. LGBT, and they've added a Q. I don't really know what that is or means, nor do I really care, because it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. It makes no difference whatsoever. Because the argument is that all of us should be able, and it's been this way for a while. There's some places, I remember, I posted this on Facebook last week, for years. I everywhere I've been, it seems so common. I've seen signs posted, especially in bars and that kind of thing. We reserve the right to refuse business to anyone for any reason. And that just makes sense. And if someone out there decides that that's discriminatory, well, they're right, because it gives the business owner the right to discriminate who they do business with, who they associate themselves with. As they should. They're free. They're a free person. Whether you agree with them or not, or you think they're making the right decision or not, is secondary. It matters not. You can dislike them. You can think it's awful. And go for it. What does my opinion matter? That's kind of my point. What do I care whether or not a baker in North Carolina bakes a cake or not for a homosexual couple? What does it have to do with me? Nothing. But what does have to do with me is whether or not me, myself and I, or you, or anyone I love or care for, will be forced by someone else or by our government to do something they don't want to do, regardless of the reason. Force is never the option to be chosen if you're going to talk about freedom, if you're going to talk about respect, if you're going to talk about acceptance. Any of these things, force does not come into the equation. It just doesn't. I'm going to take a sip of wine. Whew, that's disgusting. I'm going to drink it anyway. It's fun. It's good for you. It's red wine. It's good for you. That's my defense. But again, this is such a meaningless subject. It's such a small thing. But what has happened, because everything's been turned on its head, is that now states are having to write laws and pass them and override vetoes, in some cases, to make sure that individuals and business owners have the right to decide who they do business with and why, and who they associate with and why. That's a basic freedom. It's a basic idea of being at liberty to be a self-directing individual. These laws aren't about who might be told no. That's not the focus. The focus isn't on homosexuality or Islam. It's not about any of those things. It's about an individual being able to say no. And that is the ultimate notion and expression of being free, is that you cannot be forced to do something that you don't want to do. And these people that I mentioned, Springsteen, Adams, PayPal, that business, a corporation, Michael Moore, Sharon Stone, Cirque du Soleil, all of them are doing the thing they're criticizing. They're all deciding to not do business with people because they don't agree with them. They're doing the thing they're criticizing. And meanwhile, as you have probably have heard, but it does bear saying, all of them go and do business in countries where homosexuality is illegal and people are jailed or killed. They do business in countries where women are truly and actually oppressed, where there is true and actual misogyny, not this notion that it exists because of some difference in pay scale. It's just ridiculous. It's all ridiculous, but we've been convinced that we need to be really strongly and emotionally affected by all of these notions and ideas and possibilities of victimization. And I say nay. I say no. No, no, no. And here's a couple things to back it up. What percentage do you think of our population is actually transgendered? I don't know the answer. Do you? What percentage? One percentage I have heard, maybe a reference or something to compare. I believe our gay population, or at least those that self-identify on the U.S. Census as gay, that population is around 3.5%. Maybe 4%. And maybe there's more who don't self-identify on the census, so let's say it's 5%. Let's even go as high as 5.5%. So 5.5% out of 320 some odd million people are homosexuals. And the way that it's presented and the way we're discussing it and living it nowadays is that it's one of the biggest crises we've ever faced. Are you kidding? No. Look, folks, it doesn't matter whether it's homosexuality or it's deciding to be transgendered. Yes, it's a choice. I'll stand by that until the day I die. It's a choice, because we all make choices every day on who we are, what we are, how we are, and who we're going to be. It's always a choice. You choose to embrace certain aspects of yourself, and you choose to limit and control or manage certain aspects of yourself. All of us do. And it's just inevitable. And when we choose to do things that go against the grain, then inevitably we're going to butt up against others and other things, other ideas, institutions, traditions, people, religions. If you turn around and go the opposite direction of the way everybody has been flowing for a while, you're going to run into folks. To try and turn that into some kind of justification to become someone's master and to force everyone to stop getting in your way and to stop running into you, it just doesn't work. It just doesn't work. And to be perfectly frank, the only thing you have to fear in this country, 99% of the time, if you are a homosexual or a transgendered individual, is someone telling you that you're going to go to hell. And my goodness, if you can't deal with that, then you're not ready to come out. Seriously, because there's no threat there. Some little 90-year-old lady is going to tell you you're going to hell and you're upset and you want to pass a law? Get over it. You're not ready yet. Go back in the closet. AJ, you're a dick. No, I'm not. This is just, it's all been turned on its head. This is not that big of a deal. We're all supposed to be self-determining, choosing our lives, choosing, building, and becoming, being, capturing our potentials and doing what we're doing. But what they want us to do, what they have us doing, and what we're doing is arguing about everything all of the time. You've heard me say it before. We got to gain some perspective, and that's what I'm trying to do, is gain some perspective. It's not a big deal whether or not a baker in North Carolina can or cannot decide on their own to bake a cake for a gay couple. It is no big freaking deal. And so when these people react the way they do and punish the citizens of these states for something that the government did in trying to protect freedom and liberty, it's just ridiculous. It's ironic. It's hypocritical. And here's the thing. the reason that it's hypocritical and the reason that it's ironic is because Bruce Springsteen's concert, it wasn't like he sold all the tickets to the state, house, senate, judiciary, and executive branches of the government. It's not like he was doing a freaking concert for the government of North Carolina, people. Citizens, people, lovers of his art, were buying tickets to that. Not the state of North Carolina. Individuals. Little selves. Same with Bryan Adams. Same with all of them. It's just absolutely ridiculous, and I hope they see the error in their ways, and can maybe become people who would champion individual rights, because right now they're championing transgender rights, when to me the idea should be that if it's all inclusive, it's all inclusive. You don't single one party out and protect them more than others. I know it's tough. I'm going to play some music for you now. This is called Space in Your Face. It's the opening track from the Galactic Cowboys album, Space in Your Face, and it leads into the next song. So let's just enjoy a little introduction to the album together. Space in Your Face. And then you make me smile. Blowin'Smoke with AJ Gaynor.